Assalamu alaikum salah. Just before we begin, if you support the Young Smirks podcast and you want to help support the channel, please go to the Patreon below and support us monthly so we can keep up with the shows. We've got lots of content coming up. We're going to have special content specifically for the Patreons, as well as a new series on Hijrah, inshallah. So please go to the Patreon below and support the podcast. Assalamu alaikum salah.
أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum salam. Welcome to the Young Smirks podcast. I'm here with another episode of Welcome to Hijrah, or Let's Talk Hijrah, I should say. I forgot the name of my own show.
It's been that long.
Yeah, I've got a Dawah program which I've been trying to work on for years. I've just been busy. It's called Welcome to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like welcome to Turkey, welcome to Morocco, welcome to Dubai, etc. All the Muslim countries.
Yeah.
So it's Dawah to non-Muslims in Muslim lands.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Welcome to.
Okay.
So that's why I got confused.
That's all right.
And it's got like a Dawah / tourist book.
Mm.
So it's got the basics of Islam, what the Adhan means, what the Salah is, but also a bit of history and a map of the, all things to do.
Yeah.
That's something I've been working on. But that's why I got confused. So, Brother Ben, you have been doing Hijrah for the past 3 months.
Yeah.
So you're a newbie to Hijrah.
It still feels like surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've not currently you've not currently chosen one specific destination yet, because of certain issues like visa issues and stuff like that. And you've travelled a bit when you were younger, but you've not travelled that much.
No.
So how is it your first kind of experience?
First, I'll say that I don't think my intention right now isn't Hijrah. It's like getting the info for Hijrah. Does that make sense? So I kind of want to scout it out and see if it's an option for me and my family and stuff. But I would kind of say I'm a bit of a little Englander. I've been in my little Oxford bubble for a long time, like the Southern England bubble. I've gone on holidays, package holidays to Greece. I went to America to see family.
All inclusive.
All inclusive. I haven't travelled, but
it has to
in
be
fact,
all
let me
inclusive.
tell you the story. Actually, when I first went abroad as an adult, I was excited. I was like, right, okay. Went to a Greece package holiday. This was at the period where I wasn't really practicing. Okay, so I had basically I was expecting to get immersed within Greek culture. I was trying to learn the language before I went, everything like that. I got there and it was basically England in the sun. They had full English breakfast. Yeah. It was just full of English people. Yeah, basically, yeah.
They literally, in southern Spain, Costa del Crime they call it, because all the ex-gangsters used to live there, before they could extradite them. They used to take English money, you'd see like £1 a pint, £3, £4, £5 for fish and chips.
Yeah.
This is when they were using the pesetas, remember before the euro.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's growing up English. I was the same growing up, holidays to Wales and weekends to Blackpool.
Yeah.
We're more north, you see, North Wales. But it's, I think when we were maybe 10, you're just slightly younger than me. I think that's when people started to travel a bit more in the UK. They started to go to Spain. When we were like 2-3 years old, not many people used to travel.
Yeah,
this whole concept of flying around the world, it's a new thing.
It is, yeah.
It's like, what, 35, 40 years.
I grew up in a little market town, and my dad was a factory worker, so I was quite working class. Yeah. And everyone I knew went on caravan holidays. And then there would be this like posh kid that went to France with their family.
Skiing.
I went skiing. And they're the weird one. But now, going on holiday, if you don't go abroad, you're a bit backward.
Yeah.
Why would you go to Butlins? Like.
I think mid-90s, early 2000s. I think a lot of the British public then started, one holiday a year or one every couple of years to go to Spain. Southern Spain, or like you say, Greece, on these all-inclusive kind of holidays. So before traveling to Turkey, because you have been to Turkey before, briefly, didn't you? You came for a course. But before coming to Turkey, where have you travelled before?
So other than Turkey, I've never been to a Muslim country before. So I've been to Greece, Italy, Portugal, and the USA. And that's it.
Yeah, that's quite a
and
lot.
Germany and a little bit of France, like
Oh,
in the border.
you've quite well travelled then.
Yeah, but not.
You was a lot younger when you did it, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Mostly in my 20s, like early mid 20s, I did that, and yeah.
So how was it coming? I mean, what made you think, as a convert to Islam, you've been a convert for what, 15 years?
Yeah, 13, 14 years, yeah.
So what made you think, you know what, I'm going to try and live outside of the UK?
So multifaceted reason, right? I think the key that allows me to do it is that I've got my own business. I don't need to be somewhere to go to work. And I had my own business for like 3 years and it didn't even click. I was still like set in the way, no, I'm from Oxford, so I'm going to live in this area, so that's the key that allows me to do it. It started off, I was watching one of my favourite YouTubers, and he's
thanks.
Oh yeah, he's saying about he moved to Turkey. So no, he's actually because my job is social media and stuff and content creation and stuff like that. So it was a YouTuber that teaches people how to do YouTube. Okay, so I always watch these channels to keep update and stuff. And he was in Dubai all of a sudden. And I was like, okay, cool. And he said he split up with his missus and that now he lives in an Airbnb in a different Airbnb a month. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And in fact, if I wasn't married and had kids, I could probably do that. Let's have a look how much it is. I looked at it; it was cheaper than my rent, my bills, and all that sort of stuff. Even in Dubai, altogether it was cheaper, right?
SubhanAllah. And Dubai is one of the more expensive, options.
Yeah. Now in Dubai, it's cheaper, but it's not like dirt cheap where I'm going to save loads and stuff. It was like
but that's for Airbnb.
That's
to
for
clarify,
Airbnb, yeah. So that's for people that haven't got access or know how to rent properly and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's another little in my head, like, oh, that's a possibility. But I thought I can't do that. I've got kids and wife. Okay, never mind. But since I got married, bro, I haven't had a holiday. I've just been busy, right? When I first got married, I worked in retail, and I couldn't afford to pay for everything, so I would work a day's work and then go do Uber Eats on my bike for 2-3 hours after, so my wife didn't have to work to give her rights, yeah. So we just I didn't have time then. And then when I quit my job to be self-employed, and this was before I set up my company, then I didn't have the time. So I probably had a bit of money to do the holiday, which didn't have the time because I'm working on business or a new thing. And then it was actually talking to you because I was thinking we could maybe do a week in Turkey. Maybe I'll talk to John, and I
remember you called me like, I'm thinking of coming to Turkey for a week. I said, a week? You can't do nothing in 1 week. Especially with kids, and by the time you get here, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
So I think I convinced you to come for 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and then 4 weeks, and then you're like, you know what? I'll try a bit longer.
This was it. So. Yeah. I'm used to week holidays because that's what I did, package holidays or go away for a week or you book a week off work. So again, it's that conditioning of like that limited belief that that's what you have to do. So when I realized that I can actually, because I can work from anywhere, I can just go away for a month. That's cool. But then I was resentful, like, but I've got to pay rent for that when I'm not even there. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What if we? And that's where it clicked, where I could go off and I could live anywhere. So I spent a couple of days researching it, Airbnb, like the Airbnb solution, and in Turkey it's more expensive than renting 100%. But for me, with what I was paying in Oxford, bro,
it was still cheap.
I'm like, what am I doing in here in Oxford? And I was looking at the videos of Bursa, of Turkey, the sun. What am I? And it was horrible and miserable.
I mean, it's 22nd of December today, right? And today was a bit grey, but yesterday it was 14 degrees. It was sunny all day. We've had a week of sun. It's not bad for winter.
Bro, for December, there's been days where I've been walking around in a t-shirt. Not saying it's like boiling, but it was too hot to wear my coat. But obviously, for the Turks, they're looking at me like a mental because they're not used to that. But I've got a different climate. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Alhamdulillah.
Well, at the same time, you had But did you have an issue with your landlord? I think you told
Yeah,
me
that's what I was
something.
going to say next.
Yeah.
So, and then the nail in the coffin was my landlord didn't renew my yearly contract. He just put me on a roll-on month contract, which made me think he's going to sell up or he's going to try and get rid of me to get someone more expensive in. So we knew about that. So we've already been kicked out before the previous place. This is really frustrating. We were kicked out. What they wanted to do is they wanted to hike up the rent for the next customer or whatever, but they said they need to do renovation, so that's the illegal reason. So they gave us 2 months or 3 months, I can't remember. And bro, I had the money to rent. They didn't want me because I had kids and because I was self-employed at the time. So even though I've got the money, they were like, no, because this couple here, they both work and they haven't got kids. So someone that's probably earning less than me. In the end, I actually had to do a video to my local Muslim community. I just said, look, if anyone knows anyone that's renting and can you help me out, because we're going to get kicked out in 2 months and I've got nowhere to stay. I've got the money and we've got a job, but they're just not taking it. Yeah, well, I needed some security because look, the visa, you get a 6-month visa. You can spend 3 months in Turkey in that 6 months. Yeah. So basically, the idea is, the only thing I can do at the moment is 3 months on, 3 months off. I know I could extend it, but it's not a definite. So I needed some sort of plan. So I was thinking, right, I've got friends in UAE, brilliant. So that's where I first thought of Sharjah and stuff. I was looking at the Airbnb, it's quite expensive. Like it's cheaper than UK still, but when looking at Turkey, I'm like, that's my norm now. Okay, it's a bit expensive, and I don't drive. My wife drives, I don't drive. And you need to drive in the Gulf normally, okay? But then I thought of, who do I know? Because I want to meet someone that, like I did. I came to Turkey, I met you. You've introduced me to Turkey, made it easier, you know. Even introduced me to other people that can translate for me, all that sort of stuff. So who do I know? And I know a brother, Fareed. He's got a YouTube channel, and he lives in Bahrain. And Bahrain's smaller. I looked at Airbnbs. There was lots of choice, which was a good thing. The other thing, in Sharjah, there was a few good places, but they hardly got any reviews and stuff. And it's a little, I book a place for a whole month, and then it become rubbish when I get there. So there's more reviewed stuff and things, and it was cheaper. And I thought, well, what we could do Bahrain and maybe go to Sharjah then, or even maybe Bahrain for 1 month, UAE, and then Saudi UAE, and I could go do once a month there. But coming to Turkey though, I then realised, because I've got 3 kids, I've got little ones and wife, and it was like, we need some sort of stability. So longer stays are better, and the flights are more money. So am I saving money buying flights every month for 5 people? You know. So with that plan of Turkey, Bahrain, Turkey, somewhere else, that's doable, and that's a 9 months plan, bro. So that, although it's a flexible plan, it's a bit of safety for me. So that's what made me go, right, let's do it. Let's sell everything we got, like do all our furniture. We did about 10 things to the tip, because we had like stuff we had to chuck and things like that, and the amount of stuff rubbish I collected, bro.
So what are some of the benefits you've experienced living, number one, outside of the UK, and actually specifically living in Turkey, in a Muslim country? You know, when we say Muslim country, there's definitely a majority Muslim population here. There's mosques, there's the adhan, there's Muslim schools, and you've actually, what are some of the benefits you've got from, I say, leaving UK and actually coming to specifically for Turkey?
Where do I start, man? Okay, let's talk about Islam. Okay. Yeah. My experience of Islam is, I'm a minority within a minority of my country. So we're 5% of the population in the UK, and the reverts are like, or white converts are like, I don't know, hardly anything of that, you know. And my experience of Islam, people that are active in Islam are really active, so they make an effort to learn their religion and so on like that. The circles you're in, like we're coming here, it's different. Like Islam is in the veins of the country. You know, you've got masjids 800 years old, 700 years old, or whatever. You've got the people feel connected within their history, the roots. and I don't have that. Like, so it's very different talking to someone about, you know, what they're confused why I'm a Muslim, really confused because they connect it with that. But benefits, bro, subhanallah, adhan, beautiful. I don't know how to explain. It's very different. It's different to what I expected. But and people slag off Turkey, say they're all secular and everything like that. But bro, you go to the masjid, it's got people in it. Like Jummah, it's completely full. And what's weird is there's no like Islamic attire, right? In UK, thobes, shawakamis, you know, when but Arab names as well. There's loads of Turks with no Arab name, and they're Muslim. So yeah, it's very different. But what I was saying is, what I love about Turkey is no matter where I am, when it's time to pray or if I have to pray, I literally have to walk 5 minutes or 10 max. And no, not even that. 5 minutes and there's a masjid or even a prayer room. Like prayer rooms in malls, hospitals, there's a mosque. It's mental, it's brilliant. Yeah. So it's really like disobeying Allah is harder. You know, because you've got that choice, you know. But there's the other struggles. Like I was talking to some people, and they said, "Look, if you worked in my place, bro, they would tell you you'd have to shave your beard off." Yeah. I'm like, what? So there's positives in the UK because they're a minority. Yeah. They're like Islam's parts of Islam is protected because it's thought of as a racial thing, probably. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, it's halal food. Don't have to even think about it, bro. No reading. Is it gelatine or anything like that? That's awesome. So with Islam, it's easier to practice the deen, which is nice, man. SubhanAllah. Alhamdulillah. What else? The dunya wise, bro. I've managed to save quite a lot. I've been here 3 months. One of my dunya goals was to save money. I had something to pay off, and now I could pay it off. And now, and then alhamdulillah, bro. And knowing the future, that I will have to do this for a year or two. Allah, I could buy a property, bro. SubhanAllah. You know, people don't realise, without going into details, like, you know, I know, mashallah, how well you've done. And it's just crazy, like, thinking, forget about how much you're saving, how much people are spending in the UK. You know, like, the cost of living there is so high compared to other parts of the world, you know. And how do you feel about experiencing that kind of saving? Like you said, you know, in a few years, you'd be able to buy your own property, it's cash, you know. Almost inconceivable. That's without getting into, you know, some sort of because I'm going to be honest, bro, with the mindset I had before in the UK, it was, I'm going to rent the rest of my life, or we're going to try and find an Islamic mortgage, which these Islamic mortgages, I'm not putting a fatwa or anything like that, but I feel uncomfortable with them. I don't like the idea of doing it's very expensive as well. It's not as good. It's not cheap. And even the deposit, I don't know, how am I going to save that? How am I going to save that? So I'm going to tell you how much I think we know already, but for the audience, my rent in Oxford, okay, and these are standard. See, prices. I remember seeing your TikTok video or your Instagram video about this. Crazy. Exactly. This is what triggered everything. So Oxford's the second most expensive city to live in the UK, to be fair, okay? And I had a cheap place, right? I had it was classed as a 4-bedroom, but it wasn't. It was a 3-bedroom, but had an extra little room that I used as an office. But for a 3-bedroom house, 800 is 1,800 for rent. The council tax is 250. The gas and electric in between 250 and 350. Matters if it's winter or not. My internet was one of the best internets because of my job. That was still 50 quid a month. Then, bro, water 35 to 40 a month. It all added up to, and everything with normal grocery shoppings, it was almost £1,000 a month, £3,000 a month. £3,000 a month. So just to float, just to pay for everything, and without car insurance, without fuel, without this and that, gym membership, none of that. Just to survive and eat and have a house on my head, you know, and £3,000. £3,000. It's like $4,000 for those. That's a lot of money. So a lot of people are saying, because look, I had these thoughts like, it's too expensive, man. Alhamdulillah, I've got a business that I'm able to pay for it, but it's not nice, all that money going there. And when you're having bad months, it's a lot of money, you know. And then I feel bad for the normal working guy, the Muslim that, you know, wants to give their rights to their wife, and so, you know, pay for everything. You just can't, mate. £3,000 for a 3-bedroom. You've got kids, it's finished, man. I mean, there's you know, benefits here and there, child benefit. There's only an extra 200 or 300 quid a month from that.
But then you've got extras on that, haven't you? Like, you know, of course, more than 3,000 when you take in consider clothes and treats, taking the family out and stuff like that.
Travel, all sorts, bro.
You know, it's so coming to Turkey, it's a massive saving. So this is a really big incentive for living in the Muslim land. It's not just, if you say, a religious purpose. It's makes sense financially.
Big time. And these 3 months, and I wasn't trying, bro. Our like food shop for the month, it would be in between £400 to £600, matters how much luxury stuff we bought for a month. And then for here, it's probably about £300 for the food shop. The only thing, meat is the same price as the UK. So a kilogram of mince or lamb, kilogram of beef and lamb is roughly the same. Like maybe it's £1 cheaper or something for a kilogram. So chicken's a better win. It's like half price compared to the UK for chicken. One of the good things for me, right, if you're a spendaholic, where we live in Turkey, where are we, the east of Bursa or the west? We're in the east of Bursa. There's not as much variety of getting stuff easily. So in the UK,
well, we're in the centre of the old city, but in the modern part, there's a lot more choice of takeaways and
we're not just takeaways, but like if I want something, like if I wanted a new camera, like because there's a new microphone or this, it was easy for me to spend my money basically because of how easy they make it.
So what was you expecting, and what did you not?
Do you know what, bro? This is what's crazy. I didn't know what to expect. I was expecting nice sun, nice sunny weather, and in my head I was still thinking it's like a holiday. And for the first month, it felt like a holiday. In fact, like the first week, I hardly worked. I just chilled and you know, got the sun, and you know, we went out and looked at places. You showed me around and stuff. So I didn't know what to expect. I just was ready for it. I was just sick of the UK and sick of Oxford, sick of my money getting down the drain. I just wanted to escape as well. I wanted to give my family a better life. Like I wanted to give my wife a holiday. Like, you know, if we weren't able to do holidays, and this is the closest thing. Let's just live the holiday. You know, one of the things when me and my wife were having a conversation about getting married before we got married, one of the things she said she wanted to do was travel, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to do that as well, you know. But we never did. But we just had kids straight away. So now, alhamdulillah, I was able to give that to her. So I'm really happy about that. Bro. I didn't know what to expect. But
so, what are you expecting from the Middle East? Because this will be your first time to the Middle East, and it's very different
because
culturally.
It's the Gulf, right? So I'm expecting UK with like UK service or UK amenities, but with a Middle Eastern vibe. Does that make sense? So what am I expecting? I'm expecting it to be hot. I'm expecting it to be really difficult to walk places, even though that's probably what I'm going to do. Because where I live, I actually can walk everywhere, which would be fine. Because I'm going in the winter, by the way. So for the people watching, what am I expecting? So in Bahrain, I'm excited about learning about the culture and their way of life and stuff. In Bahrain's a bit different because 45% of the population roughly are Shia, and the other are Sunni. Which is different, right? In the Middle East, you normally get, when you go to the UAE, it's like, you know, or Saudi or Kuwait or whatever. So that's going to be different because I was told as well that even the accents are different. So it's like what if you're Shia, the way you speak Bahraini Arabic, or it sounds different to the Sunnis and stuff like that. So it's going to be different.
I don't know about that. I know Bahraini would definitely be different, slightly to the Saudi. And they have the different dialects.
Yeah,
I've never heard different dialects depending on what sect you are.
Yeah,
never heard that.
Yeah, because they live completely separate. Apparently, I don't know, bro. I'm excited to explore that and see that. Like, you know, I'm excited to see Farid, bro. I've known him for, I don't know, 8 years, 7 years, I don't know. Like, since I got on the computer and got involved in the Dawah online, and we became really good friends, especially during lockdown. We did, you know, we did a lot together. We did a lot of, it's in a different story, but I got into Quran only Islam a long time ago, and me and him, and then I came back to Sunni Islam, and me and him, we used to go online and debate with Quran only people so he could research for his book on what was it called? SubhanAllah, Clubhouse and stuff. So I know Farid really well, and I can't wait to see him, bro. That's going to be really cool.
So you never met him?
Never met him, no.
He's been to London.
Yeah, I know, yeah. He went just before I started practicing again.
Oh, okay.
Literally like a couple of months before. And then I started practicing and stuff, so yeah.
So you're going to go to Bahrain. What other countries are you thinking of travelling to and checking out in your journey in the next few years? So
there's a difference between the ones I'm planning to check out and the ones I want to check out. So Malaysia I want to go to. There's negatives and positives there. So how far it is a bit, it puts me off a little bit, okay? But everywhere is talking how amazing it is, cheap, luxurious, and Islam friendly. So, and there's lots of you know, expats there, and there's lots of people in my shoes where they've got a business and they can live everywhere. They're going there. That's where they're flooding to. So I would like to try that. Morocco's another one. I know people in Morocco. Like, you've even got connections that you can help me with and stuff like that. And I hear that people compare Turkey and Morocco a lot. So I've experienced Turkey, and it's different, but so it means I could probably tackle Morocco, inshallah. I want to explore all the Gulf. I want to go to Saudi. I want to go to UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait as well.
Inshallah.
And in fact, I'm probably going to go visit there when I'm in Bahrain as my base, and then go and do a few days like that and meet some people and stuff. Where else? I want to try Bosnia. No, it's not like like there's a Muslim population there, and there's Islam in their history and stuff. I want to see Bosnia. It's beautiful there, bro, and it's cheap. Like even Airbnb for £1,000 a month, you can have your own like 5-bedroom villa with a swimming pool. And I think that's quite cool. But I doubt I'll be going. To be honest, I don't know. We'll see. But my plans stop at the moment at Turkey in June, July time. So this is 6 months away. And if my visa, I'm going to see if I can extend the visa, so I can stay there longer. If that fails, I'm probably going to go back to UK for a month, see family and things like that, and then go to Morocco maybe Malaysia. We'll see.
Inshallah.
Yeah, either that. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah.
What have you learnt about yourself, and what has your family learnt about themselves on this trip?
That's a good question, bro. What have I learned about myself? I know I didn't realise, even though I'm quite a lone wolf, like I keep myself to myself, I didn't realise how much I like interacting with people and stuff. And I think it's because it was being side to side with you, because you like to keep yourself to yourself. Yeah. And I'm known for that as well. I just stay on myself. But in social interactions, I'm like, Googling and translating, and even random strangers come up. They ask questions. I go English, and then we try, and you're like, "What are you doing, bro?" And
you know, I would say it's good. You got some. You know, it's a good quality to have, and I think it's a safe quality to have in Bursa. Yeah. In Istanbul, they will rip you apart. You know, there's certain countries where you have to be a bit more reserved, like Morocco, like Egypt. You know, certain countries, like Istanbul, for instance, you have to be careful who you speak to. You know, there's a lot of con men out there, a lot of people. But yeah, it's good. And it's a great experience traveling, especially in the Muslim world. There's so many places.
So I tend to, I think you hit on a really good point. I tend to assume the best of people all the time, and I tend to assume they think like me. And coming to Turkey made me realise you're an idiot. That's not the case. I was almost scammed, like in the Uludağ mountain.
Oh yeah.
And there's been moments where people have like hoodwinked me for an extra 100 lira or whatever and things like that. And in where I'm from and what we do, that just doesn't happen. It's actually so disrespectful. For them, it's like, yeah, you should expect it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, that type of thing doesn't really happen in the UK. It's like the prices are set, and you know. Whereas throughout the world, it's quite common to get robbed and ripped off.
I think actually when you say that, bro, I think I've realised that about myself. Where I was a bit wet, I was a bit loose, like just you know, and it's toughened me up a little bit. And what happened?
The other thing is, it's different crimes in UK. Like you be in London and you get robbed of your phone, or you be on your phone or some guy will drive by, you know, or you get stabbed or having fights. It's different kind of crime, if you like. Like you say here, it's safe to walk the streets in Bursa. You know, 1-2 o'clock in the morning. You can go for walks. You wouldn't really do that in Istanbul with your family anyway. But like you say, you know, they can get 100 lira here and there, you know, and try and rip you off.
Bro, to be honest, the majority, so when I started doing social media stuff, like I did on my TikTok, I was talking about Turkey and my experience, and everyone was saying you're just going to get scammed, mate. It's going to get scammed, but actually Bursa is really good. Everyone's really honest, and majority of people that served me and I've gone into their shop and stuff, and they don't expect a tourist, right? Then they see the beard. And they think they know I'm Muslim, which is another thing. I'm not used to people assuming I'm a Muslim from looking at me. People assume that I'm a white guy, like just got a beard. Like even when I say I'm a Muslim, they're like, "You what?" But here it's the opposite, even right. So then their assumption is like I must be an Arab or something because I don't speak Turkish. And as soon as I say İngilizce, they're like, oh wow, and they want to find out and learn more about me. So they're really open and happy. Like, so it's that's been really cool. Coming to Turkey is it was my perfect first stop, right? Because I'm a little Englander, Muslim convert, right? I'm still very English. I'm not one of those that like change their name and wears a shwa kameez and like.
You've changed your name now, haven't you, Benjamin?
Oh yeah. So my name's Ben normally, but it means I am in Turkish. So I use my full name, Benjamin. But then they don't use the j much. So like they spell it differently. So I just Benjamin. But yeah. So coming to Turkey, it feels like a European country, but there's Islam everywhere. Which I think it's easy for someone. There's not a big culture shock. I don't know yet. When I go to Bahrain, I'll let you know if it's a big culture shock or anything like that. But
it's totally different in the Gulf.
Yeah.
As I said, I think the more you travel, the more time you spend in different countries, your level of expectation also goes higher.
Okay.
As you know, there's certain countries I would love to live in over Turkey as well. But I have my reasons for living here currently. And there are many places to live in the world. You know, Turkey is a great place, but if you're looking for, there's benefits to every country. You know, as I said, Morocco's a great place, Saudi, UAE. You know, you can rent in UAE for £400-500 a month.
Yeah, you told me that.
You know, I mean, you get what you pay for. At the same time, you can rent $5,000 a month. You know, there's everything in UAE, but you've got to go and sort it out and work it out. Indonesia, you know, Malaysia. There's many places. Pakistan, you know, great place. Bangladesh is even opening up now, changing.
Wow, that's fine.
You know, and so yeah, I mean, there's lots of varieties, and but I do like living in Arab countries personally, and I like it when a country dresses in a Muslim way, if you like. You know, I like the thobes, I like the the Moroccan clothing, the Arab clothing, the Khaliji clothing, you know, and the women are wearing abaya and stuff like that. They're covered properly, and these things really, it changes the society even more. I mean, you're coming from the UK now to here. Brussels is very conservative. Even the ones who don't identify as Muslim or don't pray, they're still very conservative. You know, they're very modest. But you know, when you go to countries that do wear abayas and the level of modesty is, you know, a lot higher, it really does change. You know, and the respect for women is much higher, I believe, in the Gulf. You'll see, people have this idea that the women are oppressed in the Gulf, or that will change your mind. You will not believe how women are treated in the Gulf, bro. I'm sure you won't. That will be a culture shock for you. Yeah. Yeah. I think people, even Muslims, they're shocked by how women are really honoured in the Gulf. We can
compare it on episode 2 of Ben's Hijrah journey.
I think that's one of the points you'll be shocked about, because people have this idea that women are kind of, you know, and in a lot of Muslim cultures there are kind of pushback or whatever. Women in the Gulf are treated like princesses and queens in the Gulf. They don't queue, bro. They'll come right in front of you. They serve first. They're like, you know, they're in charge, bro. In a good way. Not because they're, you know, oh, I'm a woman, women's rights. No, no, it's the man giving you that right, the Islamic right, and the honor and the dignity and the respect that, you know, the women go and, you know, little things like, you know, you wouldn't get in an elevator if there's a woman there. You know, she takes it herself. You wait. You know, little things like that. We wouldn't even think about that in the UK. You know, you just go in. You're alone with a woman in an elevator. Little things you'll realise as you travel through the Gulf. You know, it's another learning curve. It's learning through experience. Yeah, you'll like it, inshallah.
I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, I'll definitely interview you again next time I see you, and we'll see how you are.
Yeah, the differences.
We might see a slow, gradual change of Ben into something. I don't know what.
I don't know. We'll see. Inshallah.
I know I've changed, bro. In the past 10 years since leaving the UK, I've definitely changed.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest change in your personality?
I've just changed, bro. Yeah, it's hard to put. It's not just one thing. It's the beard's grown for a start. I mean, you've already got a beard, but I had a very short beard. Okay. Someone commented on that the other day. Not for any reason, just, you know, I don't know, it's just grown a bit. I've changed, I've changed. My Islam has grew, and I feel like my knowledge has grew. I feel like many things, it's hard to put. I'll have a think about that. But definitely, you'll feel you've got to change. If you're not changing, it's not
definitely.
You know, it's not working, is it? The whole point is that we become better people, inshallah, through the Hijrah and stuff. So any last words? Anything you think you wanted to comment on or mention?
I want to comment on one more thing, like the medical care here. So on my first month...
By the way, just to clarify, is this a paid advert? Huh? Is this a paid advertisement? No. We have to check with you. Because are you benefiting in any way with this?
No, I'm not. But I could do.
Just tell us about that story.
The first one, when we had to go to A&E. So we all got flu, except for me. And my baby got like rocket temperatures, and we panicked a bit, and we went to A&E in a taxi. My wife went alone in the taxi and stuff. And it was a private one. And we used a translator and things like that. I had a doctor friend on the phone. We were a bit cautious with that because we're used to NHS where there's no money making. So I think we were over cautious about getting scammed or whatever. And it was pretty smooth. She got seen straight away. Got all the options given. I think they tried to push a few things that didn't need to be done, but because we had our doctor friend, it was like, no, we don't want that. But my experience, bro, a couple of months later, I got iritis, which is the inflammation of the eye. And if it happens, you got to go and get it sorted straight away. So normally in the UK, you go to the emergency eye hospital. There's one in Oxford, and you'd have to go early, or you wouldn't get seen. And you'd sit there for hours, bro, and for the nurse to check do the normal check, not for the doctor. So that, you know, you'd sit for hours. They would put dilating drops in, and they would just like patch the problem and go. And it'd be a horrible experience. You'd have to book your day off work. So if you got I'm going to be off now, you know, for something that would really take half an hour. Okay, so it happened here, and I was kind of expecting it to be quicker, but not this quick. I went into did I tell you I went into the wrong hospital? So I typed in eye hospital, give it to the guy. I went to the hospital next door to it, but they also did what helped with what I had as well. And it cost me 40 quid. I got a personal translator, English to Turkish translator. I was seen straight away. It was done like that. And then not only that, they said, look, NHS have done something wrong. They shouldn't have left you with that. We need to find out why it's happening. So I'm going to do another test and book you in for some tests and things like that. So it was, and I came out and I was just shocked. I was like, it's been half an hour and it's done. And I've got my drops, I've got everything, and it cost me 40 quid. Right, if someone would come into, right, if I go back in time, NHS, I mean, I know I'm going to be sat there for hours, and someone said, if you give me 40 quid, would you get straight? I'd go, yeah, it's 80 quid. Like, get me, like, I don't want to sit here all day, you know. So it was a really good experience, and it was personalised.
You know, this is important because I think one of the ways that the British government keep people hostage in the UK is, we got free education and free healthcare. Yeah, but it's terrible education for the majority of people.
Yeah, big time.
And terrible healthcare.
Yeah.
And it does matter where you live.
Yeah.
As I said, you go to these big inner city hospitals or schools, what education are you talking about? People can't even read and write, bro. I mean that.
It's a bit of behaviour control.
Now they're talking about giving all children breakfast because they can't afford it.
That's mad.
They're going to give all children breakfast in school now.
SubhanAllah.
And I seen a video of the Duke of Edinburgh before he passed away. He went and he used to visit schools and things, and he was commenting on how bad the children's handwriting was.
Wow.
I was thinking, yeah, that's the reality in these poor areas. You know, the education is terrible.
Yeah.
Where I grew up, you know, it was the most deprived area in Europe. My area where I live, it was called Moston and Harperhay. It was the most deprived area of Europe when I was in school. No one went to A-levels, no one went to college, university. No one. And my parents sent me to the other side of Manchester. And so the education was good there.
Okay.
So I would leave this like white racist area and go to the other side of Manchester for a decent education.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be the second best school in Manchester at the time. And even then, I would say only 60% of the people, maybe 70, went to college. It's not fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was all right, but it's not like, I mean, in Oxford, you know, you'd expect a bit better than that. But yeah, it's I think England holds a lot of people hostage with this kind of patriotic kind of view of we got free, good education, good health.
There's even though most British people aren't nationalists, they're not like rule Britannia. There's a thread of superiority in there. So they look at that. They're like, yeah, we're in Britain though, like that sort of vibe about it. And it's like it's
a big world out there.
Yeah, it's a big world out there. Yeah.
I mean, it might have been the case 100 years ago, but I think the world's caught up. The world has evolved. The technology, every country has technology now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was living in Uganda and people are paying on their phone, bro. This was like, 5-6 years ago. People were not using cash, bro. They didn't like the Ugandan currency. They were paying by Bitcoin and all sorts, bro. They were already on it, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the world moves on and England's just left behind.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the roads and the infrastructure in Turkey is fantastic. It's all new.
Yeah, that's true.
They built the country up in the last 20 years. And the Gulf is the same. And England, you know, they're not looking after the country.
Yeah,
it's like since the Queen's died, even before that, but with the Queen dying, it's like end of empire, bro.
Yeah,
it just feels like.
Yeah.
Feels like. I mean, even I seen an article a couple of months back where the most millionaires have left the UK this year. Many millionaires are leaving. You know, they're taking their money and running.
It's one of the reasons why, like, I want to get out of the UK as well. As like, I've got a small business. I've built it from nothing, and as it grew, like a big tax bill came on my lap that I didn't expect. Like I was like, what? And then I didn't realise that I had to charge this and pay that, and because of earning this, well, not earning, I sold that much. It's not even profit, bro. It's just how much I sold. It's ridiculous, and it made me think, well, what's the point in all this, like, blood, sweat and tears to build this business? All my time I could just spent with the kids, could have stayed on benefits, mate. You know what I mean? When I started my business, I did self-employed, and I was eligible for universal credit to top me up. Meaning, if like a deal went through and I didn't earn enough, universal credit would kind of balance that out. So it was really good to start up. But there was a point, bro, where it almost rewarded you not to grow. It's like, well, if you make more money, mate, we have to take the money away, and you have to work more to get less. But I pushed through it anyway, and then once you're through it, it's almost like every opportunity they don't want you to succeed. And it's not like that. And this is why, when thinking about Hijrah, I first thought UAE and things like that as well. The entrepreneurs go, bro, I'm not a millionaire, and I'm thinking like that. Like, so what? Look, think about how many hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs or small business owners, they're thinking, well, why should I do business here? Why should I put money into the UK when they're just going to take half of it? So let's go somewhere else, you know. SubhanAllah, bro. It's not. And now, like, I'm going to get political now. A new government's come in that is putting loads more tax, no incentive, and we've got an anti-money making culture as well. Like, we've got a culture like, if you try and make money, you're not going to make it. You're rubbish. So it's the country's going to fail, bro. And there's a big, like, you're either a millionaire or poor. Like, it's getting worse, the divide, you know. SubhanAllah. So I think a lot of people in my situation, where, you know, built up a small business, or an entrepreneur, they're going away. Even in the Muslim sphere, entrepreneurs, there's even courses on how to do Hijrah and make money, and at the same time, and all that sort of stuff. It's just the norm now, SubhanAllah. So it's just sad because I'm British, I'm English.
So you're someone who's got his own business, you've done well for yourself, you know.
Alhamdulillah.
But look, this is possible for anyone, and what I mean by that is, even the if you like, the poor people in the UK, right, have a plan. It might be a 5-year plan, it might be a 10-year plan, but have a plan. If you get decent education, for instance, you know, or, you know, some sort of qualification behind you, what is needed in the Gulf, for instance, you can get a nice job in the Gulf, which is paid very nicely, usually with free accommodation. A lot of the time it's free accommodation, free bills, free tax, no tax. You know, you can study something. You know, it might be a 5-year plan, 4-year plan. Go and study something, you know, and get these qualifications, and have a plan. You know, you don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to have that online, but you can actually work in the Gulf and make a lot of money as well, and at least live there. You know, it is possible. I would say for anyone in the UK, it is possible. It's not immediately possible, but have a plan and learn how it can be done and put it into place. It can be done.
Brilliant, man.
I don't know about America, I don't know about different countries, but in the UK, I think everyone has the possibility to eventually leave the UK if they want. So yeah, Jazakallah khair, bro. We are looking forward to the next podcast, maybe in about 6 months.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, we'll tune in, see your experiences out there.
Yeah, inshallah.
Hopefully it's some positive experiences as well.
Yeah, inshallah.
And
Definitely.
we'll be following your Twitter and your Instagram. Hopefully get some
inshallah.
positive ones and not the usual English ones.
That's
something you learn about yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's talk about that quickly, and then. But I was making TikToks and I was talking about all the negative things, like there's not enough food variety, and what's this weird drink Iran and things, because English humour is normally quite dry and slag off stuff.
A lot of times we don't praise things in England. We always speak about negative.
Yeah.
Always complain.
Yeah.
You know?
So I made a positive effort to talk about the good things about living in Bursa, and it went viral. And I was like, right, I'm going to continue then. So I did another one, but the thing is, people started to get skeptical. Like, this is an advert. It's like, but the things I was talking about is true, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, subhanallah, I'm very happy. Like here, I tell you what, some of the benefits, just quickly, because I know we've talked a lot, but some of the benefits are, I've got lack of stress now, a lot less stress in my day-to-day thing. You know, the atmosphere and everything, there's something that happens with your surroundings, bro, and subconsciously it just eases you. So, for example, when we go outside, bro, obviously not right now because it's grey, but, you know, the sun and the mountains, the architecture, it subconsciously it just relaxes you. It makes you happy and it makes you. Remember the first month, I was just smiling all the time when I met you because I was just like loving it. So yeah, alhamdulillah, it was really.
And
good.
what about the next 2 months? You're just miserable.
No, it wasn't because grey and drizzly.
It is winter right now.
Yeah.
You know,
so the winter here, the worst, like in December, right, coming into January, it feels like I don't know. August.
It does get cold though. I mean, you know, the past couple this year and last year we didn't have snow really down. The 2 years before that we had proper snow down the bottom of the mountain. You know, in the city, and it was cold. But one thing I've noticed, it doesn't get to frosty level. It either snows or it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be scraping your windscreen in the morning. You know, it's never like that. I've never experienced that.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
You know, it's...
So I think the weather it's been in December in Bursa, it just feels like a normal British day, if you know what I mean. So for their extreme cold weather... And
a lot more sun than...
Yeah. It's like there's not as many clouds in the sky, so it pierces through. It's just nice, man. Alhamdulillah.
Jazakallah khair, bro. We'll see you again in maybe 6 months and see how you're getting on. Right. Hopefully you've had some good experiences and we'll see what you've experienced in the Gulf, and hopefully you've got a good insight into Bahrain and any other countries you've visited.
Yeah, inshallah.
And also maybe also your experience of going back to the UK to visit family, because that's another experience that I tell people is one thing leaving, but that first time you go back, the moment you're in the taxi from the airport, you realise, you realise why you don't live there. That'll hit you as well.
Yeah.
So jazakallah khair, bro. We'll see you next time.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
إنك لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء